You already know, man. Back at it again. Back at it again. I'm like a couple days late, but you know what it is. I'm still here, still alive, still breathing. Getting to it, getting to it. So, yup. I literally always say, right, I'm gonna get somebody else on. Guess what? Everyone be stunting. So, guess what? I'm by myself, but that's okay. Cause I got enough knowledge in this here for like three people. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just fucking around. I don't know a lot, but the stuff I do know is good. It's good for me. Tell you that. Um, no, I'm gonna stop fucking around now. Um, I think I'm gonna do this one on self love because it's something that I honestly need to work on a little bit better. Like I did a lot of work on like myself after Griffin died, so I found like who I was, what I want to do, what makes me happy, what motivates me to keep going, and you know getting rid of this ego. Because like I had this huge ego after he died. Like I would dress it up on the outside, make it look real good on the outside because I didn't want people to know like on the inside that I was hurting. But like that's not even the case anymore. I don't really care how I dress or anything like that. But what I do know is that like from like recent experiences within the last couple of months, after having like unmanageable situations back to back to back to back, it got to a point where like, and I talked about it a little bit like last video, like giving so much of yourself out and you're not even paying attention to like you. And it's very vital to pay attention to what's going on inside of your heart, in your own mind, body, spiritual being, anything that relates with you. Because once you start to see yourself like drifting off, sometimes it's hard to catch that and get it while you still can, if that makes any sense. And why I'm saying that is because like I've had like recent like unmanageable situations after unmanageable situations that keeps going and going and piling up until it got to a point where like I was giving so much of myself out that I wasn't even really paying attention to like me, and I was like giving stuff away that makes me happy. Trading in stuff from my schedule to accommodate other people, and then it got to a point where like I was so discontent with myself and who I was. Like I wasn't, not that I wasn't able to love myself, but it becomes much harder to love who you are when you start giving away stuff that makes you happy, because then you become miserable. Like not all the time, but I know like sometimes like I was miserable because I'm doing all these things, changing all these things that make me happy, that make me love who I am and what I do for to accommodate other people, and it just gets to a point where I'm like I don't care anymore. Like seriously, because I have to do what's best for me. At the end of the day, not saying like I don't got love for other people and this and that, because like I do. Like my problem is though is like I care too much about people and situations. Like I overly care, and it puts me in a place to get hurt where like people start to take my kindness for weakness. And that's when like I have to let it be known. Like I don't need to prove a point or wild out, but like I need to let it be known like I'm like this, I'm the way that I am because I didn't like the way that I was treated. And it sounds cliche. I'm pretty sure I said in another video, like growing up, like teacher said, like treat people the way you want to be treated, and that's such like a real thing. Because like even if you don't get the same emotions back or treated the same way, like at least you cleaned up your side of the street. And that's like a key thing to understand, where like some people, like especially in the generation that we live in today, like everything's so messed up. Like people have no regards for anybody else or other people's well-beings. We live in such a selfish world where like when someone's trying to be selfless, it genuinely puts them in a position to be hurt. And other people, from what I've seen, is like they create this barrier, right? Where they put themselves in a position where they choose where they can't get hurt because they build up this barrier, but you ruin so many friendships and relationships from like stuff that other people have done to you or you've done to other people, where you create this wall where you don't let anybody in, you don't show emotions, and the reason why like this ties it all into self-love is because like when you love who you are and what you do, it really doesn't matter like what anyone has to say about you, what people think about you, what you're wearing. None of that it is so irrelevant when you actually like love who you are. Because I've been in points, over the past year and a half where like I have so much self-love that I become, let's say, monotone. Like I get that. I used to get it a lot. Not recently because, like I said, I'm doing this podcast because like I fell off of myself, and now I have to rebuild that back. But I would be in these places where like I was such at peace and had so much self-love where like people are arguing and doing all this extra stuff in front of me, and like people like cracking jokes or whatever, and like I don't really like care, and people are like, oh, you're so monotone. It's not even really that I'm monotone. It was just I was at such peace with myself and my surroundings that like it was so irrelevant to what's actually going on in the real world, because like I have this tendency of taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture, what's going on around me, what's going on in the world, not just like what's going on in that moment of like the people around me. And I don't mean like in the moment in general, because it's very helpful to realize like staying in the moment, like being where your 2 feet are, meaning like not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future or anything like that, just thinking of like the present time and like what's going on around you and like what you could do to be a better person. Granted, I'm not perfect. I've never been perfect. Some people don't like me because I'm too honest. Some people don't like me because, I don't know, it varies. There's so many varieties of Anthony that live in people's heads where it's like, I honestly don't even really care. Some people, they get like dickhead. Some people, they get doesn't care at all. Some people, he cares too much. Some people, very knowledgeable. Like I have different varieties that live in a lot of different people's head. Not because like I try to change myself to fit in for anybody else. It's because like I'm gonna react appropriately towards this scenario. Like, because I heard people say like, oh my god, like you talk so professionally but you have such like a Taunton accent. And I'm like, for anyone who will watch this video that doesn't know what that means, it's just like the way that I hold myself is very like business professional, but if I get agitated or if I'm talking freely, like I have this accent where it stems from like living that street life, thinking everything's cool and stuff like that. So like it's a terrible habit to break, but there's times where I can talk very appropriately in the situation that I'm in. It all depends on the scenario of like what's going on down around me. Like people in the fitness industry, the fighting industry and stuff like that know me as like not that person, or like my work atmosphere, they don't see me as that person. But then there's people who used to know me who think they still know me. People don't know who the fuck I am because I done so much work on myself to get to a place where like I love who I am. I don't care if you like me because I love me. And it might sound selfish, but it's something that I had to learn because it's what makes me happy. And I had to figure out like, if I'm doing something that's making me happy, what do I have to do to continue to do these things and make it like to a point where I don't find it necessary to do all this extra stuff. You know what I mean? And fuck, I totally just lost my train of thought. Anyways, that's so besides the fact. Once you like figure out how to love yourself, right, there becomes this barrier that just like it can't be broken unless you tear it down yourself. Like it can't be broken from the outside, from like people's thoughts and reactions towards you and who you are and who people think you are, and like because like and what I said, like who people think you are is because like I get stereotyped all the time because like sometimes it'll be the clothes that I'm wearing or whatever the case may be. Um, but it is what it is, you know. There's nothing I can do because like I love who I am, so it doesn't really matter to me if you think like, oh, because like I have clothes that make me look like a top tier drug dealer, and I'm like, I don't even smoke, my boy. You know what I mean? And it's funny because like I was actually at the mall the other day, and I was in this like cosmetic store, and I bought this little tin thing, and it looked like a dispensary can, but I'm wearing like a drug dealer outfit, right? And it's typically not my forte, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out in this outfit anyways. You know, I'm gonna rock it. It is what it is. And this dude in the other store, he goes, "What's that?" He goes, "That's dispensary, bud." I said, "Nigga, no, it's fucking face moisturizer, my boy." And that's when it like clicked. I'm like, wow. I'm like, there's so many different versions of me that live in people's head, just from like being stereotyped to like people who used to know me from like way back, and then people who knew me like when I was in the streets, and then people who know me now, like, and even the people who know me now, like I'm constantly changing, I'm constantly evolving. You know, like everyone has their ups and downs. Like granted, like I said, like I'm not perfect. Like I have ups, I have downs. You know, there's times where I plateau, but I always have to break that plateau because I find when I stay like plateauing and I get comfortable at one spot, I start to slack off, and then I have to realize like I thrive my best in my most uncomfortable situations. So I have to continue to move forward, whether it's uncomfortable or not. Like I have to break through that fear and continue to move up because I want better for myself, you know, and no one pushes me to do better. I mean, like obviously, what I mean by that is like obviously, yeah, I have friends that want me to do better, but they know no one ever is like, you know, you need to do this or you need to do that. You know, they might suggest, you know, why don't you do this way, you know, because like I'm very hard headed. Like if you tell me, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, I'm gonna prove you wrong. You know what I mean? And that's why like people who are very close to me, they don't tell me you can't do this or you can't do that because they're like, the motherfucker gonna find a way, you know? And I normally do, and that's a drive that really helps me to excel in life because there's so many people even now that like don't believe in me or they laugh like this kid is, but I also don't like post my dreams and goals like on social media. Like yeah, I have like smaller ones that I might post, like fighting in a ring or something like that, but I don't post like my plans for like what I want to do in my life and in my career, because it doesn't really matter. And why I'm even bringing this up is because that ties into self-love, but like it makes me happy, so I don't care. Like I don't need to hear like X, Y, and Z from, you know, this person, this person, this person when I post something on social media and like, you know, we're gonna do that and da 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 da. I don't need that. You know, I self motivate myself. I don't need other people. You know, I don't need sympathy. I don't need people. You know, saying like, oh da da. Will it help me, you know, prove people wrong? Yeah, but that's hella petty of me. I don't need to be doing all that extra stuff when I know I can do it by myself. Obviously not by myself, but I can motivate myself to continue to excel, you know, with the help of the people and the network that I build around me. Because like I said in like past videos, like networking is key. It's so key to succeed in life. Like granted, I'm not wicked far in life. Like I'm still missing certain things, like vital parts to my life, but I'm in a spot where like I love who I am. I don't really care if you like me. And I'm happy of where I am, where I've come from. So I can't let anybody take that away from me. The only person that can take it away from me is myself. I do such a good job at giving away so much and so much and so much and not looking out for Anthony, because it's just like this thing that I had built inside of like just giving and giving and giving, because like I never had anything. So like I know what it feels like. We may not have to go through the same situations and scenarios for me to understand like what your pain feels like. So it just genuinely helps me to be able to be of service to somebody in the community or in my friend group or anything like that. My friend group's like so scattered in between like people who got kids and people who are younger than me, people the same age. Like it varies drastically, but it's because the quality of those people who are in my life I can count on for anything. Like if I needed to go build a house right now, I have someone in each field that could help me build that house. Or anything, like most things that I may need help with, because I'm so in tune with who I am. I'm not worried about asking for help anymore. Like if I need help, I'm gonna ask. And that's such like a foreign aspect to a lot of people. Like I can do it on my own. I'm this strong, independent man, woman. Da, da, da. Bro, no one ever did anything by themselves. You do stuff by yourself, but you get help. Just like with like the whole like foxhole prayers and stuff like that. Meaning like you get in this situation, you're like, God, please do this. He might help you to get out of the situation, but then it's on you to continue to thrive and make sure that you learn from that mistake instead of doing it again. Because like it is up to you to build your life. Like no one's gonna fucking walk you through, hold your hand and pull you on a leash and get you through life. They might help you and say, hey man, I can help you here. I can do this for you. If you need extra support, I got you. Da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you to get to where you want to be. It's not on anybody else. Like when you wake up in the morning, it's on you to get out of bed, brush your teeth, take a shower, do whatever you got to do, and get on with your day. Like no one's gonna help. No one's gonna help you do that. I mean, unless you're like you're disabled and something like that. Yeah, it makes sense. But like if you're supposed to be this strong, independent man, woman, grown up, da 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 da. These are just things you should do on the regular without needing help from anybody. And I understand like depression's a real thing, right? It totally is. I definitely have it. I definitely am bipolar too. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but the reason why I'm saying this is because like I go through ups, I go through downs, and with my downs, like I get really down, but I'm so in tune with myself that I know how to pull myself out of these situations and scenarios, and I do what makes me happy on a day to day basis, and that's made me able to thrive in my own body, right? Because there's a lot of times where like right after Griffin died, like I wouldn't want to do anything. I'm not motivated to do anything. I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do things. I just want to sit in my room and have the light off and be all miserable and lash out on people. And like I understand, like I might get some diss from this. Like obviously, some people need medication, and I'm not knocking that. Like if a doctor tells you need medication, I mean like I know what works for me. What works for me might not work for you, but I know like if I continue to put myself on like a steady grind where I'm doing things constantly that are making me happy. While giving myself that time to evaluate myself. If I did anyone wrong today, if I'm doing good and this and that, that like self evaluation at the end of the night, that really, for me, pulls me out of those pits because once I was able to love who I am and make myself happy, I didn't need it from anybody else. I get it from myself, and with that being said, I did so much work that when I'm in these really down spots, I have people I can count on now. Like I can give them a call, and they'll walk me through it, so I don't do something dumb. Because like I said, like last video, like I don't cry really. I use it and it fuels me, and then sometimes I get overfueled and it could blow up into a huge fire, and I really don't want to see what that looks like, because I've done so much work to like not be that person. Fighting helps me a lot, with thinking about being in the moment and doing the next right thing, and waiting for opportunities and stuff like that. And as I continue to like excel in my own life, right, I don't really need people to make me happy, you know? I don't need people to love me until I can love myself because, like, I love myself, you know? And that's, like, such a foreign concept to a lot of people, you know? Like I'm ugly, I'm fat, and da 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 da. And you tell all yourself these bad things that just continue to make it worse, you know? If you could say, like, or even just think like, you know, like you're worthy of something. You know, everyone's worthy of anything. You just have to get up and go find what that is. You know, God puts you on these paths, and you have no idea why. You know, like I'm on the path I'm on. I have no idea why. All I know is it makes me happy, and I like doing it. You know, and I had to go through trial and error to find this path to see like what I like and what I don't like, what I want to do and what I don't want to do. You know, I didn't have anyone doing it for me. I had to do it for myself with the help of the people around me. You know, figure out what Anthony wants, what makes Anthony happy, what he wants to do with his life, and what I'll be able to excel in while not being, you know, like depressed and stuck in such a mood, you know, because I have so many hobbies. I have things that I do on a day-to-day basis that I consider a lifestyle, whether that be like work, gym, and training. And then I have hobbies too, like basketball, cliff jumping, whatever. Like it varies. Like I like doing everything except for golf. Golf's so gay. Hate me or not, don't care. Said it. It is what it is. That doesn't make me happy. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter if it makes you happy. Because what matters is if you're happy, do it. You know what I mean? Like if it's making you happy and helping you to love who you are, do it. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people who are just like hate themselves and hate who they are, and it makes it so much harder to excel in life when you don't like who's sitting in front of you. You know what I mean? You look in that mirror and you don't recognize the person who you want to be. So what you have to do is create that person that you want to be. You know, and it's not like an overnight process. You know, just like wake up, boom, they instantly magically transformed into this person that you can love. No, you have to go out and you have to vary off and you have to find like what's gonna make you into that person that you makes you love yourself so much. You know, because like now, like if I want you around me, it's because I genuinely want you around me. I don't need you to make me happy. I don't need you to love me because I can love myself. If I want you around, you know, it has nothing to do with materialistic things. Because, like I said, like I've been doing everything on my own for years. Like if I want you around, it's because I want you there as a person, as a friend, or whatever the case may be in that scenario. Um, because before, like it's not fair to people for other people to love you until you can love yourself. You know, and then like I mean people are gonna do whatever they want to do regardless at the end of the day. So like, it is what it is. But like from my own personal experiences, like it wasn't fair to the other people when I was so stuck, and I couldn't allow anyone to love me because I couldn't love myself, and it like ruined a lot of friendships and relationships because people they don't know what to do with you. You know, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's like such a huge phrase that I live my life on. Like I'll try and help someone. I'll try and I'll try and I'll try, but it gets to a point where it's like, dude, there's only so much I can do. You know, it's literally on you now. Not saying like I'm gonna drop them forever and they can go figure it out. Like I'll be there if they need support, but I'm not. Like I said, like no one walks you through life like on a leash. Like you gotta figure certain stuff out. But I don't know. This is something that like really helped me. Self love is very, very, very important to being an independent person. Now, it's going on 24 minutes and a half. So I'm probably gonna wrap it up because some people probably won't watch the whole thing. I don't know. Some people might not watch it at all. Whatever. But I'm not gonna continue to drag it on. Um, if you have any ideas, topics you want me to run over, just shout me out. I mean, not shout me out. Give me a call or something. shoot me a text. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna keep doing this thing. You don't like it, doesn't matter. Still gonna do it anyways. If you do, let me know. You know, you can get on. You know, don't be afraid. I'm always here. You know what I'm saying?